Okay, once again, we are behind Mr. Frank Salter's old 1870s Italianate style house, built originally for J.B. Brown of the J.B. Brown Pharmacy. And on the other side of the alley is Mr. Salter's other old property, dating back before the Civil War. And also this property had an L-shape house before this one. And we found a cistern and a brick-lined privy, neither of which appear to date terribly old. And we probed out something next to this old tree stump here. So we'll do an exploratory hole and see what comes of it. Keeping my fingers crossed, because there aren't many other places to explore. Well, without a doubt, one of the more confusing spots I've ever dug. Here we have a cement wall corner. It goes down about a foot, and then it hits what looks like a limestone floor. Next door to it, on this side, we're hitting rocks and different kinds of rocks. And my probe goes down about 4 feet, and then it sails right around about 3.5 foot. It just kind of falls in. So there's got to be something here. I don't know what. I almost don't know where. Thinking whatever that is may have encroached on this a little bit. Since I did get some pieces from about 1910-ish over there. A machine-made fruit jar and a semi-machine-made olive oil bottle. So, I don't know what the hell's going on. Alrighty, after, at least 4, maybe 5 hours of digging, discovered I went too far that way. Even though there was bones and bits and pieces of stuff datable to the early 1860s, I was just about ready to give up and figure it for a trash pit when I discovered right about where my spud bar is. This thing drops down, and I thought, you know, I really need to go back to the basics where the wall was, see where the wall ends. And so far I can't find the bottom to the wall, that old stone wall that you can barely see. So it's supposed to rain tonight and all day tomorrow. We shall see. Hopefully I'll get back here by the day after tomorrow, Friday, and get her done by the weekend and find some goodies at the bottom. Typically they're 8 feet, probably about 4 feet right now. So, not a whole lot of work ahead of me, but it will be if there's no bottles. Okay, day 3 behind Frank Salter's old house. Down at, I don't know, 5-6 foot level. It probes out to 10 feet. Found 3 walls. Actually, I think we found the 4th. So we know where we're going. We know where we're heading. We know where we've been. All we need to know is where the bottles are. 1 bottle so far. Alrighty, well, I'm at about the 6-foot level down here in this old stone liner behind Frank Salter's house, and I just dug up a broken McLean strengthening cordial, smooth based, and I believe this is another one, and I believe it's whole because it feels pretty tight in the muck, though being said that it's muck could mean I'm out of luck. We shall see. Hope it's ponned. Alrighty, fresh out of the hole. I haven't even removed it yet. I just freed it. And feels whole. Looks like a Dr. McLean's strengthening cordial. And it looks like a smooth base. But good news is it's all there. Yes, indeed. Right out of the clay fill layer, so that may mean there's some really old stuff at the bottom. Yes, we hope. Oh, now we're recording. Okay. Well, here we are at day 3. About the 10-foot level down there. And not a whole lot to show for it. Yep. 4 little bottles. And a broken green Hostetter's. Oh, what I'd give to dig one of those up whole. Well, barely hit the bottom in this one corner where the shovel handle is. So, I don't know. Might be something down there. You never know. Alrighty, this is day 4 at the Salter rock mine. I call it the rock mine because there's hardly any bottles. And if I had a bottle for every rock, or bone, you know, if I were a paleontologist, it'd be the place to be. Anyway, today looks like the last day of it. Hopefully there's another moss green Hostetter's at the bottom. About 2 feet of the bottom left, but so far nothing's been found whole in the bottom. Just plateware and window pane glass. That's been about it at the bottom. Everything else is found higher up, and everything else is pretty much dug out. So, here we go. Well, after about 3.5 hours of digging, we have not a lot. We have a busted scroll flask with a pottle. Well, so far I haven't found the rest of it. And right next to that we have this black glass ale. Haven't found any more of that. And we have a broken lamp. Broken because there was a handle right here. And there's a hole right there now. And the remains of a squashed Pikes Peak 4 Pikes Peak flask. And I think it was a Cunningham flask. I found the old rye in the one oval, but only a bitty piece of the other eagle side oval, so we'll play with it, take a look at it. The only thing whole out of here was the smallest ink ponned in the world. I thought it was a stopper. And it actually turned into being what looks like an ink. Can't be more than an inch tall. And as we're looking down the hole at the end of day 4, we are easily at the 10-foot level, which is what I thought it would bottom out to. And we got the 1/2 where the ladder is in. nice and clean to the bottom. Now we got this other half, although it's more of this quarter back here, because I kind of dug in that quarter back there, so I don't have much left to dig. I may finish it out today, I don't know. Well, whenever finishing out a hole, it's always a good idea to go around and knock in the sides, starting way down at the bottom, working your way up. Because you never know, oh look, there's a bottle. You never know what floated into a crevasse, or a crevice. I call them floaters, because sometimes you find pottled stuff that seem to have never sunk to the bottom, or floated to the top, got stuck in a corner. So, that said, I think we need to investigate this little guy a little bit further here. That is in hard clay, so I expect it to be kind of stuck. Hey, what do you know? It's a Wakefield's Blackberry Balm. I can read it through the mud. It's an early one. I'm guessing, like everything else, early 60s. Yippee skippy. That one's for the pocket. Okay, well, these were the three that I have managed to hang on to from the Salter dig. Sadly, I was sure I still had the blackberry balsam from Wakefield's, because that was a nice crude old bottle, but apparently I got rid of it. I've dug a few of these McLean's strengthening cordials, but these were the first and easily the crudest. I really expected them to be ponnelled when I pulled them out of the ground, and this one here has a half circle hinge or key mold, and some of the glass oozed out, almost creating what looks like a partial ponnel. You know, and it's sharp. You can easily feel that. You know, and there's bits of, you know, there's a pot stone there, and you know, some pretty gloppy glop on the tops. This one's not as crude as the other one. This one here is just hammer whittled, and I had it pro tumbled just because of the whittle. You couldn't hardly see the whittling before I got it all cleaned up, and now it just sparkles, especially on a sunny day, which we don't have going on now. But you know, just, you know, some crud in the glass. I always love it when there's, I prefer just crud rather than pot stones. Those pot stones will heat up in the sunlight, and they will crack your bottle. I've had more bottles with pot stones in the windows that go tink, and you go, oh no. I almost can tell you which one it was, you know, without looking. Anyway, this one doesn't have, you know, quite an obvious base. It probably got faded out a bit with the tumble. But yeah, easily early 1860s. The later ones say and blood purifier below the strengthening cordial bit. I don't know how late these went before they switched to the other one, but clearly the other ones were like 1890s at least. And then this bad boy here, this is actually kind of weird for such a common bottle, Ayer's Compound Extract Sarsaparilla from Lowell, Mass. It's got those funky Pittsburgh S's that look like they're falling on their faces. You know, what I see typically in the 1860s pits, not so much later, you know, 1870s and later, you don't quite see that. But the most bizarre thing is, again, I was expecting possibly a panel base. Look at this base. This thing has, you know, I don't know what they used on the bottom for a cup or whatever, but it is like 1, 2, 3, 4-sided with this kind of a rounded design on these two halves, and then these guys, you know, I've never seen that before. If anybody else has ever seen it, I'd be curious to know. But again, you know, it came out with the others, I'm thinking 1860s. Nice applied top. It's a neatly applied top. I mean, you really have to... one of the ways I've discovered is running a wire down the inside, or a bent paper clip, and if you can catch it on the inside ridge where they actually came with a separate piece of glass and added on there, that'll definitely tell you it's applied top. You know, sometimes you get in there and start looking, and I can't see it with my naked eye, even with glasses on, but my camera oftentimes picks up things that I can enlarge and see a little bit better. I'm not seeing it with this one, but I can tell you for certain it's applied, because I've done the paperclip thing on it. And so anyway, another grueling dig for a handful of bottles. I think I got like 6 bottles total. And that broken Christiani Ponald had a flared lip on it. I kept it around for the longest time, and I finally got sick of looking at it and I got rid of it. I think I just threw it out. There are times when it's just time to throw stuff out, you know. I actually went searching for it, thinking, well, maybe it's still stashed away somewhere, but no. So anyway, there you go. 1860s all day long.